Hey honeys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be talking about 20 things that I feel that you should be making time for in year 2020. I know one of the things that I should be making time for is taking my Christmas decorations down. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just have not taken them down yet. I mean, judge me if you want, it's fine. But yes, so like I said, we are going to be talking about things that I feel everyone should be making time for. So without further ado, let's just get into it. So I think that for us, it's really easy. And when I say us, I mean literally everyone, not only my generation, but just society today as a whole. I think that it's really easy for people to get caught up in spending time on things that really don't necessarily matter. And we kind of put our time and energy into things that don't get us anywhere, that aren't productive. We just do a lot of things mindlessly, and that's really not a great thing. So with 2020, I think that we really need to start being more mindful and putting time into things that actually matter and that are actually going to help us get somewhere. So of course, you hear people say, new year, new me, and you know, they're motivated for maybe a week or two to go out and do something productive, and then that motivation kind of dies off, and with that motivation dying off, so does whatever goal they were trying to reach die off right along with it. So I'm here to just say that I think that even though New Year, New Me is such a cliche, having a new year really does give you that boost of energy that really does inspire a lot of people to go out and make some changes in their life. So with that, just keep that mindset going throughout the whole year and not just the beginning of the year. And if you reach kind of a stagnant point in whatever you're trying to achieve, just keep pushing through because you had that motivation once, so just keep with it. And with all of that being said, I think that with this new year, it's really important for us to start putting our time into things that actually count. So that's why I created a list of the top 20 things that I think you, me, and everyone should be spending their time on in 2020. Number one is reading a good book. Now, I know that not everyone is necessarily someone who enjoys to read. I personally love to read. I am always reading a good book, but I know that that does not apply for everyone. So I don't mean that you should sit down and do something that you don't enjoy doing, reading a novel and forcing yourself to do this just because it's on this list. I just think that there's something really special about picking up a book and being able to read it. And if you're not a reader, this doesn't have to necessarily mean this huge novel that's going to be something that seems burdensome for you. Read a self-help book. Read maybe an old classic. Read even a short little book. Read a book of poetry. If you're someone like me, I personally enjoy reading the Bible. Find something that you enjoy reading. And I don't even really mean listening to like an audio book or something like that. If that's all that is available to you, and if you aren't physically able to read like an actual book, then please, by all means, do whatever works for you. But if you do have the accessibility to be able to pick up a physical book and read it, I think that there's something really special about that, and just having the actual feel of a book, like actually being able to flip the pages, feels really, really beautiful. And I think that it's something that we should really be making more time for. Next is spending time with your family. Now, this one may go without saying, but I think that it's really important, especially for people of my generation, to make more time to spend with our family and loved ones. It's really easy to make plans to go out with your friends, or if you're living on campus at college, you may get caught up in doing all of the activities that your school is doing, and you may forget to make time for your family. But I think that it's really important to go out there, schedule times to go visit your family and your loved ones, especially your older relatives. You're not sure how much time they have left here with you, and that really goes for anyone, no matter of what age you are. But it's just really, really important, because at the end of the day, these physical things that we have and all of these things that we carry with us that mean so much to us as a society can't always carry with us, but our memories that we're creating always will be there. And they're just such beautiful things that you really can't create with something physical. I know I mentioned like friends before, and that's totally fine. And I'm not saying don't spend time with friends. Obviously, build healthy friendships, but I just mean don't forget about your family and just make sure that you're putting time forward into spending with them, because at the end of the day, they have been there for you from the start, and hopefully they will be there with you until the end. Next is writing. So again, this kind of goes along with reading. I know that not everyone is necessarily a writer, and I don't even mean that you have to sit down and write the next big bestseller novel. No, I just mean write. Whatever it is that you're feeling, write down your emotions, journal. I think journaling is a really, really awesome thing. Dream journal, that's really, really cool to be able to wake up and write down whatever it is that you were dreaming of that night. Write handwritten letters to people. This is such a lost art, and it's such a beautiful thing, and it honestly means so much more than a text message or a direct message on Instagram or whatever it is. Having a handwritten letter goes such a long way, and it's so beautiful, and it's something that you can always have. And when you get older and look back on those memories, you may just feel so nostalgic looking at something like that and reliving that joy that you felt when someone gave a letter to you, or relive in the joy that you felt knowing that you were giving someone else a joyful moment as well. So I think writing in any capacity is a really beautiful thing. And if you are creative in the writing field, then by all means use that creativity. Write, because it is such a powerful thing. Words are so powerful. Next is listening to classic music. And I don't mean like opera or just like Beethoven or something like that. I just mean branching out from today's music. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with today's music, but just take the time to listen to some of the legends. Listen to music maybe from your grandparents' generation or from your parents' generation. I think that's really cool, and it also kind of opens your eyes to what people of that time era were feeling and going through, and you may even have this spark of emotion that relates to what your family member from those generations were feeling. I think that's really cool, and it also just opens your eyes to music that you may have never thought to listen to before. Honestly, music is such a beautiful thing, and you don't have to just limit that to one type of music. By branching out and listening to some of the legends, you may just find your new favorite song. Next is traveling. So I am someone who loves to travel. I feel super blessed that I do have the opportunity to be able to travel as much as I do. I'm not saying I travel like all the time, but I do enjoy traveling, so I just always try to find ways to make it work. But I know that not everyone necessarily has the means to be able to travel often, and I don't even mean to go on these big lavish luxury vacations all the time. Travel locally. Go away on weekend trips or day trips or whatever traveling means to you. Go out and explore different areas. You know, so often we are kind of stuck in our day-to-day, going to work or going to school or whatever it might be, and you know, all of our household duties, that sometimes we forget that there is a world outside of what we live every single day. So go out, get away for a little bit, clear your mind, see new places. The world is such a beautiful place, and there's so much to see. Number 6 is exploring your hometown. Now, I know that I just said to travel and get away for a little bit, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't find beauty in your hometown, where you live, where you're spending majority of your time. I feel like a lot of people, maybe if you're even still young and live with your parents, you may not really know a lot of history about your hometown. Unless it's like a big city that's written about in history books and stuff, you may not really know a lot about what your hometown has been through, when it was created, all of that kind of stuff. So do some research into your hometown. Look it up, find books, go to your local library, find this history and all of these like cool things about your hometown, and then go out there and explore it. You may find these little hidden gems and treasures that you may have never even known existed, because you may have never taken the time to actually think that your hometown has a history. Next is try new recipes. So I know everyone may not be a cook. I certainly wasn't. When I was younger, I always thought I liked cooking just because my grandma would come over and I loved being in the kitchen with her. But I realized that when she went home, I did not want to cook anymore. And for a while, I really did not enjoy being in the kitchen or cooking. And then more recently, I have really found this new love for cooking. For me, it feels like a really beautiful way to be able to serve my family and to be creative. Before, cooking always felt like a chore to me, and now it feels like a very creative outlet. It's really fun, and I think trying new recipes kind of goes right along with that. It's a really fun thing. If you feel like you haven't found that appreciation for cooking yet, just try like anything that makes you smile. If it's Christmas time, try making Christmas cookies. If you have like a favorite meal somewhere at like a certain restaurant, try to make a dupe for that recipe. Be creative with it, have fun with it. I think that it may help you find a new appreciation for cooking, and honestly, cooking is awesome. And you know, at the end of the day, we all have to eat, we all have to have food in our systems. So if we can find ways to make that fun and cook it ourselves, that goes such a long way. Next is listening to podcasts. So first I had down on my list listening to inspirational podcasts. And I definitely still think that that is super important, but I just want to make it known that I think listening to any podcast is really, really awesome. Now, of course, if the podcast is derogatory or negative, then that may not be something that you want to put your time into. But if the podcast isn't necessarily inspirational but still brings you joy, then by all means listen to that. Typically, I'm listening to podcasts on my commute, wherever I'm going. Usually I'm listening to podcasts in my car. One of my favorite podcasts to listen to is the What Say You podcast, which is with Brian Quinn and Sal Vulcano. I love listening to their podcast, but I wouldn't necessarily call it inspirational. They're comedians, so it's a very funny, lighthearted podcast. But I love listening to other inspirational podcasts. There's so many different ones out there that I do enjoy listening to that do provide a source of inspiration for me. And I think that that's a really awesome thing. Also, if you're anything like me, sometimes music doesn't cure that loneliness that driving by yourself provides. And for me, honestly, podcasts have really helped kind of fill that loneliness void, because it just makes me feel like I'm sitting in on their conversation. So I think podcasts are awesome, and I think that listening to podcasts is a really great thing. Also, I do want to mention, speaking about podcasts, Chandler, my boyfriend, and I have started our very own podcast. It's called On a Hill, and it's available on iTunes. So be sure to check that out. I will link the video that Chandler and I made on our couple vlog channel in the description box down below. So be sure to go check that out. We're just talking about the podcast a little bit more in depth in that video. So go check it out. And our first episode is up, and our next episode will be up soon, and they will be up every single Wednesday. Next is alone time. So this can really mean anything, whatever alone time means for you. This could mean just simply turning the lights off and taking a nap. This can mean making a cup of hot tea and just sitting on your chair for a few minutes just by yourself. Whatever activity you're doing by yourself is fine, but just sometimes you do need to get away and just be by yourself. Now, I think that relationships and social interaction is super important for a healthy just mind, but it's really, really important also to spend some time by yourself. If you're constantly interacting with people, you're going to end up getting exhausted. And if you are an extrovert, this may give you just a really great boost of energy constantly being around people. If you're like me and you're an introvert, being around people may drain your energy. But even if you are an extrovert, being around people too much is eventually going to exhaust you. Eventually you need to just be like, okay, hold on a second. I need to kind of be with just myself for a minute and remember who I am and just recharge my batteries. Because even if you are an extrovert, you still need to recharge so that when you do go out and have these social interactions again, you're giving them the best version of yourself. And I think that comes with spending time with yourself. Having alone time is a really great way to just repower yourself and go out there and be the best version of you that you can be. Number 10 is exercise. Now, if you are anything like me, you may find exercise to just be terrible. I do not enjoy exercising. I don't think that it's something fun. I think it is such a chore, and I do not enjoy it. So that is why I have found ways to make myself enjoy exercise and do things that don't feel like exercising. So whether it be yoga, bar class, Zumba, all of those things don't necessarily feel like exercising to me. So it's something that I actually really enjoy doing. Exercising though is super important, and it's something that we all really should be incorporating into our daily routine, whether it be a quick 10-minute stretch in the morning, whether it be a full-blown workout at the gym, whatever it means for you. Find some time in your day and find a way that you enjoy exercising. It's really important. It gives us a really great health benefit. I mean, obviously that goes without saying. Our bodies go through a lot throughout the day, whatever it is that you may be doing, and exercising just keeps us limber, keeps us flexible, and it's just, I mean, you guys know the benefits of exercise. I don't think I have to tell you the benefits of exercise, but it's super, super important to do, and it's something that everyone should be making time for, including myself. Next is building new relationships. Now, as I just mentioned a moment ago, I am an introvert. So this means that I find more energy kind of not doing social things. That's kind of the simplest way to put it. But I still think that it's really significant for us to be able to build new relationships. Going out there and meeting new people, finding new friendships, going out and maybe even speaking with a mentor or a teacher, whatever it might be, it's really beneficial for us to be able to build new relationships. They may be able to help us in the long run, and I'm not saying this to like use people. That's not what I mean at all, but I just mean that it's really, really great to have people in your life. You know, you can be there for them, and people provide other people with a sense of joy. So go out there and find someone that makes you feel good about yourself, find someone that makes you feel happy, and keep that person around, because honestly, at the end of the day, people are really awesome. And honestly, that's the simplest way I can put it. And that's coming from an introvert. So there you go. Next is being intentional. So as I mentioned in the very beginning of this video, we as a society have really found ways to put our time into things that don't always necessarily matter. So we really do need to begin being more intentional about whatever it is that we're doing. If we wake up and we have a list of things that we know for sure we want to do, and we're doing everything with an intention behind it, our time is going to be spent so much more purposefully. We're going to accomplish so much more. We're going to feel so much more fulfilled, and we're just going to go out and want to continue to achieve more because we know we're actually making a difference. If you're just doing things mindlessly, you're always going to feel bored. You're always going to feel unfulfilled. But if you're actually putting intention behind whatever it is that you're doing, you're going to find contentment, and that's just such a great thing. Next is volunteering. So volunteering is a really, really awesome thing. It's something that I love to do so much. And honestly, I just have found myself not doing it anywhere near as much as I would like to. So it's really something that I've been thinking about a lot, and I know that it's super important for me to go out there and find new ways to volunteer, because honestly, I miss doing it, and I know that I'm lacking in doing it. So I definitely need to start to go out there and begin volunteering again, because honestly, it's really important for us to help people that can't help themselves. If you have the means to live your life, even if you're not living the most lavish life, if you have, you know, the opportunity to have a roof over your head, a meal every day, then you have more than a lot of people in the world. So go out there and try to help and make a difference however you can. Not only are you helping those people that can't help themselves, but at the end of the day, it makes you feel so much better about yourself as well. Number 14 is your passions and hobbies. So I feel like as a lot of people get older, you may kind of grow out of putting time and effort into what you actually enjoy. But honestly, if you are passionate about something, if you have a hobby that you used to love and have just given up on it, get back into doing that. Those things make up who we are. And if we're giving up on that, we're giving up on a piece of ourselves. And that's something that we just should not be doing. So go out there, find a hobby, or, you know, pick up a hobby that you used to love, and if you're like no longer interested in whatever your hobby used to be, find a new hobby, but get back into what you're passionate about. Do what you love, because that really just helps build our character and just reminds us of who we actually are. Number 15 is planning. So I am a planner. I love having a planner always around me somewhere. I love making lists. It's just something that I am like psychotic about, but I absolutely love it. It makes my life a whole lot easier. So if you are planning what you're actually doing, if you're keeping a planner and writing down appointments and special dates and anniversaries and holidays and all of that fun stuff, it's going to make your life flow a little bit easier. You're not going to be caught off guard when you remember that tomorrow is your dad's birthday and you still didn't get him a gift. If you have these things written down, that's going to help a lot. And this also just helps in your day-to-day. Plan out what you want tomorrow to look like. When you wake up, you're going to do the laundry, you're going to cook breakfast, you're going to get dinner started, you're going to go to the mall, whatever your day-to-day looks like. Make a plan, make a to-do list, because this is just going to help you, again, be more intentional, and it's just going to kind of get you flowing more, and it's going to allow you to accomplish a lot more. Next is to create goals and work towards them. So honestly, I think this also kind of ties back in with being intentional, but we really need to focus on what we actually want to achieve. What do you want to do? What is your 1-year plan? What is your 5-year plan? What is your 15-year plan? You know, whatever it is. What are your goals? Set them for yourself and then work daily towards achieving them. This can also just mean really short-term goals. Do you have something that you have to do or want to do tomorrow? Create that goal for yourself. Write that down on your to-do list, in your planner, and work towards actually achieving that. Don't just say, oh yeah, I want to do that. Oh yeah, I have to do that. Actually create these goals and then do what it takes to go out there and achieve them. Next is meditation. So now this can mean whatever it means for you. For me, I really enjoy meditating, and I just mean that in its simplest form. I will just be by myself, turn off the lights. Sometimes I'll put on like meditation music in the background, and I will just be with myself and in my thoughts and just close my eyes and really, really be one with my inner self. But this can also mean prayer. I also pray every single morning. I read my Bible every single morning. So for me, prayer is also a really great way to meditate, because I'm with myself and with God, and I am just meditating on what I want my day to look like, what I want my life to look like, and just spending that quality time with myself and with God. But whatever meditation means for you, find a way to incorporate that into your daily routine. It's super important, and this is a little bit different from alone time, because like I said, alone time can really mean like whatever you want it to mean, as far as just kind of maybe sitting down and watching a movie or whatever. Meditating is just having that quiet time to really focus on yourself and ways that you can better yourself. Number 18 is sleep. Now, this one may seem kind of obvious, but it's really easy to say, oh yeah, I'm going to bed, and then lay down in your bed and either turn on the TV and become distracted on that, or take up your phone and start mindlessly scrolling through a social media page, whatever it is. You really need to put time into sleeping. This is going to allow for a much healthier version of you. It's going to allow you to be so much more energized and recharged to accomplish so much more the next morning and day, and it's just going to be so beneficial for you. So I know that some people suffer from insomnia. It's something that honestly I would kind of suffer from a lot when I was a little bit younger. Now I just tend to fall asleep a lot later and wake up a little bit later, which I need to get out of the habit of doing that. But you just need to find time to sleep. Don't oversleep. Don't just make your whole day or life about sleeping, but don't just get 2 or 3 hours of sleep a night. Sleeping is super important, and it allows you to just go out there and accomplish so much more. Next is spreading joy and positivity. So if you are someone who is a naturally negative person, or you may look and find the negative in any situation, I'm talking to you. You need to go out there and begin finding joy and positivity in everything that life has to offer. Even if it's something that seems inherently bad, find the silver lining, find the positivity about that, and really bask in those moments. And with that, also just spread joy to others. If you see someone that is wearing a shirt that you like, or if you like their bracelet or whatever it is, compliment that. It doesn't take much to say, oh, hey, like I really like your shirt. That's really cute. That's it. And it honestly just makes someone's day. I know when people compliment me or just give me a genuinely positive interaction, it doesn't have to be a compliment, it could literally be a smile or holding the door open or just saying good morning. It makes my day so much brighter. So if we can all be a little bit more intentional about actually going out there and spreading positivity and being intentional, there you go. See how all of these tie back into each other? It really just creates this ripple effect, and it just makes the world a little bit brighter. And lastly, number 20 is yourself. We cannot, and I repeat, we cannot give others what they need from us if we are not first caring for ourselves. We need to provide ourselves with the self-care that our bodies and our minds need and deserve. Now, self-care can literally mean anything. Self-care may mean reading up with, curling up with a good book and a hot cup of tea. Self-care for you may mean taking a bubble bath. It may mean going out and getting your hair or nails done. Whatever it means for you, you need to provide yourself with self-care. And aside from like those kind of physical self-care things, we also need to give ourselves the nutrients we need. We need to be staying healthy, taking the vitamins that we need, going to doctors. You need to provide yourself with self-care. You need to put time into yourself because, like I said, especially if you have a family or if you have loved ones that are near you or you're working with people in your job or whatever it is, you can't give other people what they need and deserve if you're not giving it to yourself first. We need to put time into ourselves, and that's the only way to accomplish everything else on this list. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you may have thought about something on this list that you are going to start incorporating time into for year 2020. I hope that this opened your eyes to some of the things and kind of makes you realize that as a society, we really are putting a lot of time into things that don't really matter. So I really, really hope that you guys enjoyed this. I know for sure that I need to make more of an effort to put time into these things as well. It's easier said than done, of course, but if we start out with this plan and then just really try our best to stick to it and be intentional about it, there you go. See, these all are just like coming right back around full circle, then we can have such a better success rate of actually sticking to these goals and accomplishing them. So thank you guys from the very bottom of my heart for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye!